Some people see God in nature, some see God at church. Rebecca McKendry, the absolute fucking madwoman, asks, what if you saw God at a glory hole? Yes, I'm not fucking joking. That's the premise of the 2022 film Glorious. If you hadn't picked up on it, this movie is fucking wild. Um, Now, to be fair, it's not just any god. Like, I'm not talking Judeo-Christian god with the white beard and the muscles. This is like good old-fashioned elder god territory. Inglorious, our main character Wes, who is obviously going through some shit, stops by a deserted rest stop and has himself a little pity party, complete with like brown liquor and the ceremonial burning of Eurex's things. However, the problem is when Wes wakes up, sans pants, as is tradition, at the rest stop bathroom, a weird conversation with a strange being in the cubicle next to him ensues, and things get fucking weird, as you'd expect. And let's be honest, you already know. I don't know why I'm still talking, because you already know, given the setup, whether you're going to watch this or not. If the above intrigues you in any way, shape, or form, watch this movie. I had no idea what it was about going in, but I had a surprisingly good time, given how fucking weird it is. This is a weird film. It's fun, but it's weird. Now, and this is a horror comedy. It's not a flat-out laugh fest like something like Shaun of the Dead or Dale and Tucker versus Evil, but most of the comedy that happens is like because of the weird conversations between Wes and the being, as Wes, like us, like me, when I watched it, is trying to understand what the fuck is going on. That being said, it's not strictly a comedy. This has a sinister center wrapped up in funny one-liners. Some truly disturbing shit happens in this movie, even if the gore at times is comical. And there is a kill in this that would make Slayer proud. It is pretty spectacular. Ryan Quantan from True Blood plays Wes, and he plays him as a man hitting absolute rock bottom. I thought he was really, really good in this, and the movie hinges on him so much because it's just him. There's like two other characters in this whole fucking movie. The being in the stall is perfectly, and I mean perfectly, voiced by J.K. Simmons. Yes, Oscar Award winner J.K. Simmons. Now, I could listen to that dude read an optometry chart and think it's amazing, so there's no real surprises there. But it's amazing that for such a small film, they managed to get him. He must have read this and gone like, yeah, fuck yeah, I'm in. As I said, this is a tiny budget movie, so there are some parts that have questionable CGI, but I thought hiding the bean in a stall was so fucking clever. Like, if you know anything about Lovecraft, you know the creatures in Lovecraft, the lore is that if you look upon them, they drive you insane. So they sort of sidestepped that by going, well, he's on the other side of a glory hole. You don't really get to see him. That's fucking funny. That's a funny way to deal with that. That's great. Thinking outside the box for sure. This movie doesn't ask much of you in terms of time investment. It runs under 80 minutes, and I really do feel like the joy it gave me outweighed the roughness around the edges. This whole movie takes place in one bathroom, Saw style, and I thought it was great. I had a good time doing this. I know lots of people are going to shit on this movie because it doesn't go far enough into horror, or it doesn't go far enough into comedy. Seems to be most people's like hate of it. I thought it was really good. Like, this is trying to take this film seriously when the premise is about an ancient god being in a glory hole. Like, I don't know what you were expecting. But I thought it was really good. If you're looking for a horror comedy with an absolute ridiculous premise, here it is. This one's pretty good, and it's an indie. It's great. I recommend watching this if you love ridiculous horror premises. Velocipasta, Piranha 3DD, that sort of thing. This has an absolute really ridiculous premise. If you love cosmic horror, sort of goes without saying, this is cosmic horror. There's also like a really good neon tinge to this, sort of like Color Out of Space. They go for that aesthetic in this movie, and I think they do it pretty well. I don't recommend watching this if you want a serious movie. Obviously, it's about a god being in a glory hole. And if you can't forgive poor CGI, give this one a skip because there is some, and that's probably just because of the budget constraints. You can't expect the world on a micro budget. Let me know if you end up watching this because this is a ridiculous neon-colored romp through a cosmic rest stop, and I thought it was pretty fucking good. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll hope to see you for another review. Peace.